It's not very often I get to say video games, treason, and espionage in the same sentence, but due to some very enthusiastic fans of War Thunder, we've been able to do it. So this story came to me yesterday on my day off. I found it absolutely fascinating. Basically, the Official Secrets Act was broken in an attempt to improve the War Thunder game. And if you're not familiar with the War Thunder series, basically it is a vehicle simulation game where you get to battle it out with land, sea and ground vehicles. And by all accounts, it's pretty damn good. It's won a fair few awards in the past for its accuracy. And with all vehicle simulation games, has some pretty hardcore enthusiasts. So it all began when one fan known as Fearnot basically came out and claimed to be a Challenger 2 tank commander. So our tank commander obviously is a big fan of the Challenger 2 and has tried it out for himself compared to the real life counterpart and noticed that there were several differentials. So he identified basically the in-game version was a lot more susceptible to enemy fire than its real-life counterpart. And to do it, he posted images from the Challenger 2 manual. So obviously I can't actually post the images and I think they have been taken down. But by all accounts they were very heavily redacted and carried the UK restricted label. So this is a bit I'm not too sure actually what happened. So the UK restricted labels were on the images, but they were crossed out and stamped with unclassified. So I'm not sure if that meant that he had a manual that they were unclassified on by mistake or by all accounts, or that he had done it himself. Anyway, it seems the War Thunder team are pretty on the ball, and by all accounts of their reaction, I don't think this is probably the first time they've ran into things like this, or at least maybe they've worked with military services to try and get very accurate representations of their vehicles, because basically they came out and said, yeah, we're going to need proof of this actually being declassified, and also where he sourced them from. Anyway, they went away, contacted the Ministry of Defence, and then the MOD, they writ back and said, yup, this manual is classified. So as you can imagine, alarm bells are already ringing at this point, because leaking classified document comes with a nice weighty sentence of about 14 years. Anyway, if you want the exact thing that they writ back with, they put, I can confirm that it does appear to be the genuine extract, and also added in, it certainly has not been released under FOI previously by DENS or considered for redacting. And this is where I think the unclassified stamp is also a little bit fake, because they put, we also do not recognise the unclassified stamp as something that has been used in DE and S. And if you're wondering what DE and S, sorry to put it in, it's Defence Equipment and Support. But as previously mentioned, and as enthusiastic as this guy is, by actually going through and dissecting the manual is actually a breach of the Official Secrets Act and comes with a 14-year prison sentence. And then put in a hefty reminder stating, of this you are already aware, as a service person you have signed a declaration that you understand the Act and what actions it compels for you to take. Every time you post this, you place us, especially any UK citizens, in hot water, as the warning so helpfully states that unauthorised retention of protected documents is an offence. So there have been some speculations into whether or not this guy actually is a tank commander or even part of the UK military, but some keen eyes at the UK Defence Journal basically noted that he came from Tidworth, which is in Wiltshire, which is also home to the Royal Tank Regiment, which also uses Challenger 2s, which if you ask me is a fair few coincidences. I found this whole thing really interesting, and it really opened my eyes to some of the issues that the War Thunder team have to deal with. I found this story really eye-opening in terms of what War Thunder have to deal with. I don't think there are too many games that kind of get to put their hand up and say, yeah, one of the issues we deal with is people are leaking classified documents to kind of help reinforce the hyper-realisticness of our games. Now, as mentioned before, I did speculate that this is probably something that they've had to deal with in the past, but apparently it's not once, but twice, but multiple times people have leaked classified documents and said that they're unclassified to try and make the models or planes, etc., as realistic as possible. And the best thing about this, and this was written by Andy Jorg on the PC Gamer article for this, is while this is a breach of the Official Secrets Act, apparently you can't get banned for doing it. And that even though they were valid documents, they can't be taken into consideration because they aren't declassified yet. So there you go. If you play the Challenger 2, you're just going to have to live with your inaccuracies for a little bit longer. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this story. Let me know what you think. Do you play War Thunder? I'd really love to know. But the main thing is, I hope everyone is looking after themselves. Stay healthy, stay well, and I'll be back with more news soon.